This episode is brought to you by Midwest Night Watchers, found everywhere on your favorite podcast platforms.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Veil.
Hey, happy Sunday. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, I keep forgetting what day it is. I was thinking Tuesday. No, we already had Tuesday.
I
Since
think
we're
it's
doing
Sunday.
more shows during the week once in a while to get some more guests in. And I don't know. Yep, today's Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Yeah.
I hope people got to enjoy the auroras, the northern lights that came over across the U.S. or wherever you're from. Because, other countries got to experience them too, besides the U.S. That was exciting. We took a bunch of pictures and put them up on our Facebook pages and group pages. And
they were very pretty. I just can't believe
we enjoyed it.
I can't believe I've seen the Northern Lights 5 times in 1 year. It's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, they were so colorful and to the naked eye, we could actually see some of the colors, not as bright, but we could see the colors, the greens and the
reds,
especially the reds.
Yeah. It was pretty.
And then now we got the comet coming through that you can see in the northern hemisphere anyway. So anybody in the U.S. that has a good view of the west right after sunset, like an hour, 40 minutes to an hour right after sunset is a good time to view it. So if you got a clear sky and a view of the west, get out there with your cameras or binoculars or whatever you choose and see if you can catch the comet.
Yep. Hopefully we can see it. Last night we had clouds.
Yeah, tonight will be a good one. We're going to try tonight. So the next few nights, it's still going to be really bright because it's the closest that it's going to come to the Earth. And then it's going to travel all the way through November. It'll just keep getting dimmer and dimmer, higher in the sky. So it won't be quite as spectacular, but depending on where you live, it might work out better if you wait a few days. But tonight and tomorrow night is going to be a great time to try to capture it if you want to get a camera or whatever device you use. We got a lot of people popping in. That's nice.
Yes, we do. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. Now we're going to talk about all kinds of different things tonight.
Yeah. Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, and their connection. And I mean, we've always said that everything's connected.
Oh, I see bacon.
Oh, bacon. That's Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco gave everybody bacon.
All right.
Hey, I see Clay and Gary, Jason, Fire Spirit, JoJo, and everything's scrolling up too fast.
Let's see. Gilly B, Fire Spirit, Elaine.
Yeah, I'm glad to see some UK friends.
Gary, we got Pixie, we got Miriam.
That's right. I saw Pixie.
Yeah, so let's get started. Let's I don't know if we said it, but we have Jesus Payan, an actor and film and TV, and but he's also a Bigfoot investigator and cryptids and paranormal, you name it. He's checking it out, and we've done several shows with him already about digging in lost civilizations and the firmament and all kinds of subjects. So this is going to be a nice little twist about the connection between all these things. So it's going to be fun. So let's bring Jesus up and we'll get going. Hey, there's your hand. How you doing?
What's up? Hi. Hello, everybody. Good to see you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We got a good crowd came in here to listen to us tonight.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for coming, everybody. We appreciate it.
That's right. So I think everybody probably knows who you are from our previous shows, and they probably know you from your film and TV history. So if you want to, you can tell us a little bit about that, or we can just move right in. It's up to you.
Sure, I'll do a quick one. It's me again, everybody. Jesus Jr. All right, let's talk.
That was good.
I did want to mention that you have your cookbook and you're developing a comic book, maybe series, and you're starting to look into going to conventions and bringing out your stuff, your information to everybody.
Yep. Excuse me. My cookbook is called Baking Bad with Gonzo. And yeah, you can get that on Amazon. You can just type in Jesus Payan, Payan, and my books will come up. And yeah, the comic book's called Breaking the Dead. It explains how Breaking Bad causes The Walking Dead. There will be a short film to go with the book. That'll be live action, not cartoon or animation. And I am trying to go to conventions and different conferences and festivals for Sasquatch and other, topics, the UFO topic, there's different UFO conventions too, but yeah, Comic-Cons, UFO conventions, Bigfoot conventions. It goes from fun to my research, which is fun too. But yeah, I would love to do like a tour, you know what I mean, across the United States. But it would be a circular one almost to kind of go all the way around, see all the different weirdness and craziness there is out there, and yeah, try to tie it together and compare it. And it was like Jane said earlier that it's all connected on so many levels, even beyond what we're going to talk about. It's really amazing stuff, and I can't wait to really discuss all of this with you guys and hear the comments from the chat and see what people think. And yeah, I'm very excited and grateful for you guys to have me here today.
Oh, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Well, I just want to make sure your cookbook's not a cryptid cookbook.
No.
Okay.
It's a keto, mostly keto style recipes from how I lost 200 pounds. And then there's a small section of all the naughty things I do enjoy that my doctor that handles my diabetes will get very angry at me. It's what caused me to catch diabetes eventually without just eating and not exercising was the problem. I was after high school and I wasn't in football anymore, but I was still hungry as a big old football player. And I just ate until I was about 450 pounds. So, that was a lot of weight for my body to handle, and it messed me up. So,
yeah. So there's no Mothman meatballs or meatloaf or
not this one. The next one, I think that I will be doing some Bigfoot burgers, and some Mothman
burgers.
There you go.
Oh yeah, and some of them alien abduction, French fries and
believe it or not, that one would probably sell really good.
Yeah, it would.
That's because you got to probe the secret sauce,
Oh my.
Just don't forget the bacon.
That would be terrible.
Bigfoot bacon, maybe.
Bigfoot
Yeah,
bacon.
those would be the cattle mutilation and the pig mutilation surprise,
Our subject tonight is fascinating because we've always said, we look at all the stuff as being connected, and I know you do, and other people are starting to open it up to that because originally a long time ago, it used to be if you chased UFOs and aliens, that's all you did, or Bigfoot and cryptids, that's all you did, or dog man or paranormal and ghosts. You didn't venture off into other thing. Now people are starting to wake up. It's like, well, if I can see the woo and the paranormal factor in this, and then now we have Bigfoot that's maybe dimensional and has other kind of abilities, and same thing with dog man and all that. People are starting to get in and widen their vision and horizon into all these other fields.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what's really, to me, I'm no longer just noticing connections, and like you said, everything was just, you're Bigfoot, you're not alien, you're aliens, you're not ghosts, you're conspiracy theories, you're not, it just, we all had to stay in our lanes, and yeah, I like to swerve. So I'm swerving as much as I can.
It's crazy. I mean, like I said, me and James said that for a long time, and we mentioned it on many, many shows, like, because everybody's coming out, even talking on their podcast about the connections. They may not do the whole gambit, but they're starting to see connections between one and the other. So they're kind of broadening a little bit.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, this is from left field, sort of, but the mud flood, the mud flood theory and the Tartarian stuff, right? Okay. I think this is really interesting because, finding all these old buildings and, there people claiming that they made them themselves in the 1800s, when it's obviously it didn't, under a lot of these cathedrals and churches, they're finding, these burials, which are not really burials, are crypts, and what were they called? The catacombs, in Europe. But it's not just in Europe. These catacombs are everywhere, everywhere around the world, and all the same styles of stacking bones and different weird, designs and artistic, stuff, which I don't think it's artistic. I think it's all what's that called? Ceremonial and doing specific styles of putting the bones, causing all kinds of different energies so they could run these rituals. Whoa, world shaking. And it's like, where did those people go, right? Where did the people go that built all this stuff? And then we're finding millions and millions and millions and millions of bones under all these churches, and they're just saying, oh, we just ran out of space, so we just stripped all the bones of their flesh and everything possible and made them nice shiny bones and stacked them all really neatly without names or anything, just thousands of them. It's like, that's kind of strange. So, who got wiped out? Why did they get wiped out? And during all this time, if you look at those books that are around from back then, talking about the cryptids that were around in those times, you have a whole bunch of strange creatures beyond just dogmen and Bigfoots, and you got the blemmies. You know what the blemmies are?
Yeah.
Right, with the faces on their chest, and then you got the big giant foot ones and the big ear ones and the big, just so many different weird stuff. For me now, I am searching for all the connections in the timelines, and hoping to get a better understanding of what we are really dealing with that maybe we haven't thought of before.
Yeah, we got into the old maps, and Gerald found even more old maps. What was that other one? What date was that one? The last one we were looking into. 17
I don't
something
know.
or
There's
15 something?
1700s. Some of them are 1500s, 1400s. And the weird thing is, they say that they're exploring all these worlds, but some of these maps had Antarctica on it before it was even discovered, or we said it was discovered. It was like,
and didn't have any ice on it. Didn't have no ice on it either.
No, it was all green and great.
Yep.
They had blemmies on there and all these strange creatures or people.
Oh, you know what's real cool? The Sistine Chapel. inside the Sistine Chapel at the bottom of one of the giant murals of all the angels and gods and everything. At the very bottom, there's Bigfoots. No joke. 2 Bigfoots in the Sistine Chapel at the
Really?
bottom. Yeah, peeking their heads out of a cave. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild.
Wow.
I'll send you the pictures. But yeah, it's there. They're Bigfoots. Like literally, you cannot mistake them for any other creature because they did a really nice job painting, this church, the chapel. And
Wow.
yeah, man. What does that say? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, Jane talks about this all the time about in the Bible where who was it, Jane? Enoch?
I'm trying to think. Those 2 brothers, and he killed the brother, and
Isaac,
his father
Isaac
was
and Abraham.
blind, and he had to put the fur on his arm. Well, I think the blind father would know that's an animal fur unless the brother was a Sasquatch, and that's why he actually was that hairy.
Yep, and he didn't wear clothes, and he would chase down the game antelopes. He ran faster than an antelope.
Yeah,
he could chase them down. Holy moly, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's in there, but it's been
twisted.
Everything's been twisted, manipulated, and for a specific outcome they want to see and don't want us to believe.
right.
Because
to lessen our strength.
When you heard that in a sermon at a church and the pastor is saying, yeah, they put the animal fur on, you're kind of thinking with your common sense, like, don't you think the father would know that was too hairy?
Right. Well, this is the thing I think is really interesting, guys. From all the weird stuff that we've, I wouldn't say witnessed, but researched, heard reports about, all these strange creatures with these amazing powers,
right?
And these amazing, dimensional this and dimensional that. This makes me think and wonder about one thing. If all those things that we have read about and are talking about are that amazing and incredible and just like, whoa. And it points to all of it saying that we are the most important part of it all and the most special of them all. What exactly can we do, and have we been not told and it been suppressed somehow from us being able to do it anymore?
Right.
Yeah, we always talk about our limited brain power, if we had full capacity of our brain, but what have specific memories or abilities have they taken from us, whether it's the eyesight to see in the other dimension and what's going on around us. I mean, you got to wonder if all these things that we're saying is dimensional, it's like, I really think we're supposed to be able to see them. Something's blocking our view that we can't see them naturally.
Yeah, well, it's just like when they break down our DNA and the genomes, that they see that there's a specific gene that has been placed. It's not a natural adjustment because they know how to adjust them now. So there's been specific adjustments and additions added to our genome to make us only live a certain amount of years. That's not supposed to be there, and they know the doctors would be like, that's not normal. Somebody moved that to here and connected it. Now that they know how to put it together and what it takes, it's just like you don't get a specific type of metal naturally. Sometimes you have to combine 2 metals in metallurgy, and melt them together to get them to turn to bronze or whatever you're working with. But the same problem happens with DNA. It's literally has to be manipulated to do certain things, and you can see past manipulation in it. So that makes me wonder what other stuff has been done that they could see and they haven't mentioned, to us, and what can they unlock now?
Right. Is that all the junk DNA that used to not be junk
DNA?
Yeah, it probably wasn't junk DNA before.
Yeah, only 4% of it's any good. The rest is just junk.
Right. How can we have junk DNA? I don't think God creates junk.
I mean, I've always said, talking about that junk DNA, that they speculate that some of it's ET or alien, out of the ordinary for us. But what if that was really our source DNA and they've expanded out to get us as we are today? What if the junk DNA, the alien part, was really who we were, and they've modified it since then?
Right. I agree. It's all possible. And yeah, that's why I said it's this connection. What are these different individuals? Are they, what we think? I think that, like the aliens are either going to be bad or good, one or two, the fallen one chain, or actual current modern day angels that are traveling back and forth in and out of the firmament. The other ones, like, are like I said, there's different hierarchies of different types of angels. We can call them whatever we want, but the smaller ones with the big black eyes, they seem to be the worker bees, pretty much handling stuff and watching lots of people, because they used to do that to me, and that's how I got into the UFO thing. Besides seeing UFOs all the time, I've been visited. I've had them show up. I haven't been alone when these things happen. Just like the picture. Those pictures of Bigfoot and the alien looking in the tent, I wasn't alone when that happened. I've had neighbors. I had one time. Check this out, guys. I was in Las Cruces. This was in like 1999, going into 2000. Okay, and I had just moved to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I would always, like, I'd be in my yard, and the kids in the neighborhood wanted to hear, stories about UFOs and aliens and stuff. So they knew me as a UFO guy. So one day I hear a bunch of banging on my door, UFO guy. And I go to the door and I open it, and there's a bunch of little munchkins at the door, and they're yelling, "There's a UFO over your house. Ha ha ha." And I was like, "Oh, you get out of here, you crazy kids." And then I look over them and I see their parents in the street, all looking over my house, which was a double-wide trailer. And I'm like, damn, son. And I look out the front door, and sure enough, there was a big spinning white disc over my trailer. And as soon as I stepped out and looked directly at it, it went zip away from my house over to the mountain range, which are the Oregon Mountains, and turned into three dots, three glowing white balls, whatever you want to call it. Just like that right there, there's three dots right there, that formation, okay? It started spinning. Right? And this was about 4 o'clock-ish in the afternoon, and we're all out there just watching it for like over an hour. It's not going nowhere, just spinning. And the sun starts setting, and the children's parents, they walk up to me, they're all, "Jesus, that's really cool and all, but we're gonna go ahead and go get dinner now, and we're gonna bring in the kids now, okay?" And I was like, "Thanks."
Right.
Okay, have a good dinner. But yeah, that sighting came out in the El Paso Times. I talked to the 911 operators, and they said on that day all 911 lines were jammed from Las Cruces, Anthony, and El Paso, Texas, with UFO reports of that going on. And that night we were visited, and it's real, and it's been happening to me for a long time. But the majority of the time, I just talk about Bigfoot stuff mainly. But I don't really go, not as of late, do I really go into my experiences with the whole UFO and alien phenomenon. But I don't think they're aliens. I honestly think that they're demons and angels. I've been visited by both sides. I think the crappy side has come, and pretty much from what I can tell, they just want to know what it is about me that these other ones are visiting me for,
Right.
and protecting me. I've been saved by those guys before. Me and a friend, his name is Jason. We were driving from Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was, I'd say, evening when we left in this truck we bought, old 1974 Suburban, and it was kind of beat up. Engine was a little rough, but we got it for like $1,500, and it was cool, and we're driving back, and it's getting dark on us, and the lights start going dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until we lost all the lights, and we still had a good 150 miles of driving in the dark. which is not cool. Of course, you get pulled over, too, real quick, but dangerous. And we're driving across the White Sands Missile Range area, and that's when, these UFOs followed us, over us, and it lit up the area, so we could drive all the way till we hit Carrizozo. And once we hit Carrizozo, they disappeared, and a train came by that was heading towards Tularosa, so southbound. We just kept up with the train, and its headlights lit up the road enough to where we could drive, and we drove the rest of the way home by a train.
Wow.
But yeah, they're watching, and this is the real hard part: is it's hard to tell which one's which, because they both seem to drive the same vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
and they also look a lot alike,
right?
And then the ones that are the fallen ones, the bad ones, what we consider the bad ones, they can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they can pop in and out of dimensions and all that stuff, but I think that they're stuck within a bubble, a permanent, just like the firmament. That's what the firmament is, and they can get out. But I think the firmament continues past the dirt and goes into the underworld. So yeah, they do have dominionship of the underworld and above land, but not past that firmament. But we still have the individuals that are not in trouble, that got the passcode to be able to go in and out of that firmament. Because in the Bible, you have many instances of angels coming back and forth.
Right.
It just said that the bad guys can't get out, but there's still things going through, So
the Bible also talks about creatures at the throne. So I don't think it's just there's creatures up there. So are these creatures some of the things that we've been experiencing? The Bible does say there's creatures around the throne, worshiping God.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
So what are these creatures? And there's 24 elders. We don't know what these 24 elders are. We don't know if they look human. They could be something totally different, or leaders of different planets, like Pleiadians or something else. We're not clear.
Right. And another weird thing is like the certain angels that are mentioned. You've got the seraphim? I think it's a seraphim.
There's several different ones, yeah.
Yeah, where it's looks like a bunch of bicycle tire rims, intertwined with each other, spinning with eyeballs on every single one, and that it goes around watching everything. So it stands to reason that if the angel hierarchy from archangel down to the little itty bitty, worker bees, it makes sense for them to be different. Like, what I'm saying, all these different things. None of them are exactly one thing. Like, to get super weird, let's get weird, everybody. To get super weird, I take lots of pictures of the sky because that's just what I do. I look at the sky and I try to analyze whatever I can find in it, and sometimes I'll find stuff later. I'll just get a feeling to take a picture, point it, okay, take some pictures. And not till I get home and start examining and then, adding contrast or whatever, do I see stuff sometimes. Well, this one time I saw some of the weirdest. So I don't know where this category would fall under. Honestly, I really don't, besides sky phenomena. But in these pictures, okay, which I will send you for the next time, I forgot, I completely spaced it, which people are gonna be like, how are you gonna forget about that, man? But I did. I am a medical marijuana patient, okay, for many years. But yeah, so I took this picture of the sun. It looked really, really cool, great shot, some rays and whatnot coming through the cloud. I get home, checking it out, and it looks real strange. A part of it, after I increased the saturation of all the colors, I noticed this weird little area. So I zoom in, and it looks kind of like a person, but they're like upside down, sideways, and I flip it, I rotate it, on my phone, and I zoom in, and it looks like there is a man. Okay, I would say he looks Caucasian, black hair, mustache, beard, with a gold crown, and I'm turning my head this way. Where's my hand? All right, everything's backwards. A gold earpiece that goes up to a point and comes down like it's sitting on his ear. Has curly hair, and it looks like he's sitting on some type of throne or throne bench. Okay, that's weird in itself,
right?
But behind him, below his back, kind of behind him, there's a gray alien, whatever you want to call him, big black eye, gray skin, funny shaped head, coming out of the darkness. Next to the dude with the crown, okay? Next to the dude with the crown, there's what looks like a blue-skinned conehead.
Oh, wow.
Person with a real high collar coming down, sitting right next to him. But that's not it. It gets ridiculouser, okay? Sitting next to the conehead is a Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm thinking it's a Bigfoot, but because it has a cone head too. Well, not really super cone head, but it has, kind of cone head. It's covered in fur, the whole face. You can see the nose, the eyes, the mouth. And next to that one is another Bigfoot, but this one has more of a visible face with the nose like mine, but dark skin. And you can see like a mouth. But it's wearing a crown, a small little crown on top.
Huh.
So where would that fall under? And I've got these pictures. I'll send them to you. I can send you the originals, whatever. That's not a problem. It's there. Why is it in the clouds? Wow. Who are they? Why are they looking down at us?
Right.
And what, it sounds like a bad joke. A blue cone head alien, some Bigfoots, and a weird dude with an elf ear walking to a bar. Right? It's like to me, it's just absurd. I've never known where to stick it. Like, where does that go?
Right.
Which realm? Do I
all called watchers?
Some
people call it the Sasquatch watchers.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, we've always talked about how everything's connected, and we've talked about, when people see UFOs or aliens or whatever, well, who created them or who's in charge of them? And how many levels does it go up to finally get to the boss man, if you want to say, or the source? Right. I mean, we don't know. We don't know if these are people that are just like us or workers, or like you said, worker bees coming down and doing their work, and then they got to report to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else.
Why are we calling them aliens? Aren't we all living beings?
We're all aliens.
We're all aliens. We're all living beings. They should not really be called aliens. They're another living being, a species.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that they pushed really hard on us in the last 100 years, is that these individuals are from another planet, that they are a civilization above us, that it's not anything to do with demons or angels or ghosts or nothing like that. And they try to make it sound like we're crazy if you suggest those things.
Right.
And I think they've done it for a purpose and a reason, to get us away from our original knowledge of who these beings were. When you really do the research throughout history and you go farther back, the same descriptions, the same individuals, the same ships were being seen, the same procedures, the same visitations, the same abductions, have all been happening. But the farther back you go, the more and more it's called demonology, and seeing, being visited by angels, and succubuses and incubuses and fairy lights, and we're dealing with the same thing over and over. But all of a sudden, as soon as they decided, NASA was the supreme knowledge on what we are in, on whatever, flying through space or sitting flat, whichever, they've been giving dominionship of what is supposed to be reality. And everything they've pushed and society that we know of has been forced to accept is turning out to be a bunch of BS. And the more you really research and actually use the equations that they're throwing at us and do the real actual research, you start finding out a lot of it's not true. We've just been trusting them to take over $60 million a day from our taxes to do it. And they're not giving us much back, you know. You got Buzz Aldrin. Was it Buzz Aldrin? Is you've heard him lately, have you? Have you heard heard him saying? Yeah, admitting that it was they never went. They never went. They never got there. And you got this new movie supposedly coming out, talking about that exact thing, that they made it up for the space race. Yeah. To just to show their you know, we're better, stronger, faster, you know. Right. And yeah, once, just like, you know, everybody knows, if you're gonna lie, better stick with it as long as you can, you know, stick with it, don't change your story. Well, people get old and they stop giving a damn what's gonna happen, because they're like, hey, I'm already about to be there. So I want to get right with God. I want to get right with God and tell the truth, you know.
Yeah.
Well, in all this connection stuff, we had a friend reach out to us and talk about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and he believes that the two are separated, that Bigfoot basically are flesh and blood and has been here for a long time, and then Sasquatch is working with the aliens that they're brought from the ships, and they're controlled by the aliens, and they were originally brought here to mine gold and minerals and our resources, and then some of them broke free. So we had, supposedly, according to him, he thinks we have two separate groups running around in the US or all over the world, evidently. Well, so that's one connection of aliens and Bigfoots or Sasquatch working together. We've heard that before, where people have seen them come out of ships, or even orbs. I mean, Jessica Jones supposedly saw a video where an orb touched down and aliens came out of it.
Right. Well, just like you were saying, I don't think well, it's just like humans. Okay, since the Bible times, there's some individuals that get visited by the higher ups. There's some that don't. We're all the same species, though. There's some people that can do this with their thumb. Hey, look, it bends back. Some people can't. But we're still the same species. So I think that falls under the Sasquatch realm too, because we do share the same story of we were created. Our masters were the same one. And they made them first to do all the mining of the gold and all that whatnot. They got unruly, they got in trouble. And then they're like, nope, we got to change that. Y'all are grounded, get in the forest, you can't come out. Let's make things a little bit smaller, a little bit weaker, and don't live as long. Not as easy to stay alive in all kinds of horrible temperatures or, you know, climates. And they need to be able to depend on us quite a bit. And then made us. So during alien abduction reports that I've read, there has been reports done by people that did not believe in Bigfoot at all. That were hypnotized, they were regressed, and in their regressions while they were on the ships after being abducted, some of them would see Bigfoots up there in the ships with the grays. There was a story of this woman in Washington. This was in the Mysterious World book by Arthur C. Clarke from the 70s that I had read, that got me into all this when I was a little tiny Jesus. A story of this woman. She was single, had children. They were at home, and there was all kinds of ruckus by their animals, and a bright light was shining into their house, that, you know, like ridiculously bright from outside the front yard or whatever. And all of a sudden, the bright light disappeared. Animals calmed down. She called the sheriffs because she was like, didn't know what the heck was going on. The sheriffs came, and when they showed up, they found huge circular depressions in her front yard, you know, that were, you know, I believe 2 feet in radius or 3 feet in radius. And then outside, which would have been a 30-foot radius of this craft, where the edge would be started Bigfoot tracks going out about 100 yards and then, walking. And then they turned around the tracks and were running back because the tracks were wider, the stride.
Right.
It was running. And they also stopped right at that edge of 30-foot diameter from those tripods that were on the ground. She never saw them. She didn't see the ship. But that's the physical evidence that was left.
Wow.
So that tells me that as soon as she picked up that phone to call the sheriffs, they said, better come back, buddy. They're calling. And he ran back in and then took off.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of evidence that points to this being a reality, no matter how much people want to fight it and say, no, aliens aren't real, Bigfoot's real. And also the groups, no, Bigfoots don't do supernatural stuff. They're just Bigfoots. They're human type people. They're just normal. Then there's the no, Bigfoots are just big monkeys. They're not human type people. They don't have language. And it goes on and on and on. The more closed-minded they are and don't want to accept any type of evidence, it's not a lack of evidence. It's a lack of accepting evidence.
Right.
That we're dealing with on super duper multiple levels.
Right.
I mean, people see supernatural stuff every day. They just don't realize what they're seeing, or they choose to ignore it, or they don't, it's like, oh, I don't want to open that door. I don't want to acknowledge it. I mean, whether it's keys disappearing and then all of a sudden they come back. It's like, really? You think that's just
Normal?
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that happens all the time where you see shadows in the side of your vision. It's like, yeah, that door's starting to open up. You need to start exercising that and start concentrating on that. But most people say, nah, it's just imagination.
Right. Oh, that was kind of weird,
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is in my bedroom, me and my wife's bedroom, we have this. There were two white desks, the really nice desks. Modern, like for a realtor company or something, an office, and it was on Facebook Market. They're giving away for free. So I was like, cool, right? I was like, I'm gonna go get those. They look real nice, like even Southwestern-y and whatnot, And I go to see them, and they were no joke serious, heavy desks, and I don't have that much room in our house. So I was like, how the heck am I going to fit these two big ass desks in my house? And then I thought, I'll just stack them on each other. And I made myself an entertainment center, sort of.
Oh, cool.
But really strange was the one top drawer on the right. Okay. They're on rollers, right?
Right.
And, all of a sudden, every once in a while, the drawer would just open. Right. And I'm like, I do carpentry. It could be just a bent, roller, and it kind of doesn't want to sit. So I'm like, all right. So I get me some duct tape. I tape it shut, right? Well, I'm sitting there on the couch, we're watching TV or whatever on the bed. I mean, and the drawer opened, and I'm like, didn't I tape that? So I got rid of the cheap duct tape. I was like, maybe it's just because it's Walmart-y, cheapy duct tape, cool aqua color stuff, It's all right. I'm going to get me some Gorilla Tape, right? So I go buy some Gorilla Tape, and I tape that sucker down, And, I continue with my day. Got my little munchkin here, Jotty, and we're sitting there in the room. We're just talking, watching one of my videos or something, and right? Yep. It's open. You didn't hear the tape get pulled, nothing. And we just look at each other like, Yeah. Yep, it's weird stuff. And this is all the stuff that happens with me a lot that I told his auntie, my wife, when I was asking her to marry me. And I didn't expect her to say yes. That was the thing. And she said, okay. And I was like, hold on, what? And then I was like, oh, crap. She said yes. So now I have to give her the warning, you know what I'm saying? Which I'd give a girlfriend, but we're skipping that part. We only had known each other for 5 days. And so I told her, I said, I'm just going to let you know, if you're going to marry me, I see Bigfoots, ghosts, aliens. Sometimes they come around. Weird stuff in the clouds around me and stuff. I go, you're going to see it. Have you ever seen anything like that? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, there you go. So do you still want to marry me? She was like, okay. And I was like, all right. And she has seen all of those things since, you know? And it's real. It's super real. It doesn't matter if I want to see it or not. It's really cool that I'm able to share it with everybody, and now it's kind of like a thing, you know, in society now. Not not like before, how I was just like, oh my gosh, like when Travis Walton first came out with his abduction experience, you know, with all that, and that was just, you know, oh my gosh, why would he say that? Or the Betty and Barney Hill incident or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, now it's way more, you know, in the mainstream, all these different weird things. But yeah, I don't remember ever seeing a Bigfoot in space. The closest thing I've ever seen of a Bigfoot being in the sky is that picture I just talked about. I've seen them in the forests and in the deserts, and you know, but never in the sky besides that picture. So I haven't got to experience the Bigfoot phenomena where they're working together. But yeah, I do think there is groups, specific ones that have been tagged, just like us humans get tagged. And who knows? It's kind of like the Manchurian candidates. You know what I mean? With the whole system, was it the Monarch program? And yeah, what if there's Bigfoots that go through the same thing? That they don't even know that they're doing this. You know, they're just there in the forest, all doop-boop-a-doo, gonna eat a mushroom, and it must pick up humans and operate them and probe them. I don't know. You know what I mean? Get on the spaceship. It's weird, man. We don't have all the answers. I wish we did, and God only wanted us to know so much, honestly. And from what, you know, we learned in history, they weren't supposed to teach us a whole bunch of stuff, because I think that they wanted it to keep it simple. God knew that what we were capable of, and God knew how stupid we can be, you know, because his own angels were doing the same stupid crap. We got it from them, you know. So yeah, if I was a creator myself, as you know, bad as it would sound, yeah, I wouldn't want them to know everything. I wouldn't want them to know how to do magic. I wouldn't want them to know how to do just horrible things. And I'd say, here's 10 rules. Don't do these things, please. You know, it might help on the long run, guys. You know, but yeah, it's unfortunately it's unraveled, and everybody's doing real stupid crap.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do so well in the Garden of Eden. We only had the one rule: don't eat of the fruit. And guess what they did?
Yeah.
They had the munchies. Yep.
But I mean, you talk about manipulation and stuff, and almost like what do they call them? Sleeper cells. You know, why couldn't they do it with Bigfoot or cryptids or whatever? I mean, if we talked earlier about them turning stuff on and off in our DNA, well, they could do that also with a flesh and blood cryptid, where, like you said, you know, all of a sudden they're just tending to their family, doing their everyday stuff, just like we do. Then all of a sudden, boom. You know, what changed? Well, somebody with a higher source has control.
Right.
There's so many reports of black helicopters that are actually hunting them down and capturing them.
Yep. It takes them. They've got them. This whole, we still need a body. No, we don't. There's been plenty. They just take them all. We don't need more innocent Bigfoots and Sasquatches to get killed because you don't want to accept all the crap load of evidence that's already out there that shows that they're real. You know, it's like, you know, I've seen lots of videos of, say, like Katy Perry, right? But I ain't gonna believe she's real because I ain't found a body. So yeah, let me go, have somebody shoot Katy Perry so we can have an exam of her. Then she's real. But until then, no. It's all CGI.
Yeah.
You know, there's a point where it's like, come on, dude, after the 50,000 video, the 50,000 picture, the 100,000 damn report, the list goes on, the DNA, the hair, the poop, the footprints, the fingerprints, it's like, I'm done trying to prove it. Now I just want to find out, why. You know?
Well, I remember not so long ago, well, it is for me, obviously, but like in grade school or junior high, when I first read that people on safaris and places did not find any skeletons of elephants. They couldn't figure out. I mean, we know elephants are flesh and blood and they exist, but we couldn't find any bodies or skeletons of them until later they finally were able to track and find the cemetery or the skeleton graveyard that they would actually take care of their own or go there to die. But for a long time, they had no proof of it.
Yeah, there's a lot we don't understand about animals, and plants. You know, it's really a real catch-22 because we like to eat, we need to survive, and the more and more we learn, the more and more we find out everything has almost is alive and awake, not just alive but consciousness. There you go, consciousness. And you know, when you hear about that experiment where they trees were screaming when you cut them, plants scream.
Yep.
If you cuddle up to a plant and be all, "You're so cute and pretty, you're so good music," it grows better. You tell it, you know, "You suck, you're the crappiest plant I've ever seen. Your leaves are all small and your stem is tiny." You know, then they don't like it, and you play some crappy music, you know, from America's Got Talent or something, the auditions, and they die.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So it makes it hard to want to eat anything, damn it. You know, it's like, I love me a big fat steak. You know what I mean? But have you seen the little midget cows that they fluff up? They're so cute, and they're like pets. They love you and they care about being loved. And, you know, you got Charlotte's Web, you got the piggy on there, you know, some pig. You know what I mean? And then I'm watching, you know, the TV, the history or whatever channel, and it's the Forged in Fire, right? And there's a part of the show where they have to test the weapons that they make, and they'll have a pig hung, you know, tied up, right? So they can try chopping at the pig, you know? And we're watching another episode, me and my nephew here, and we're watching, and there's a new scene with a whole different weapon and another pig, and he was like, "They killed another pig?" I was like, "Yeah, they do it for every show, hundreds and hundreds of them." And we're like, "That pig had a name."
Aww.
You know, it's so terrible, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, the more and more we know, the harder and harder life will get for us. Even though we think that the more you know, the better life is, you know, and that's not exactly what they, you know, I think Jesus was telling us, you know, to do. He wanted us to less burden our lives, you know, and just worry about living for each other and doing good, and, you know, not exactly trying to figure it all out.
Right. I mean, life's full of mysteries. We'll never know the answers till we cross the other side, or we're given the information for whatever reason, whether it's a big awakening or, like I said, we cross to the other side, then we'll know. But you know, with some mediums and channelers are kind of giving us glimpses of stuff, you know, because they have those powers to reach out and see beyond the veil. And once in a while we get a glimpse with our own eyes to see beyond the veil. So I don't know. There's a lot of mysteries out there, and that's what we like doing. We like talking about them. We like searching for them and talking to people that's experienced them or have the same, I don't know, openness, I guess, awakeness.
Right. Yeah. Like I wrote this, not to get off topic, but just because life's just nuts. And like with all this, you know, seeing the Aurora Borealis here in New Mexico, Arizona,
right?
You know, I'm like, man, am I having a flashback? You know, and acid trip. You know, is it real? Is it not real? I had a dream. You know, like, well, not a dream, but in 1997-ish, 8-ish. Yeah, I was a stupid young kid, you know, and somebody dared me to take a whole vial of acid, which it wasn't. It was mouth rinse. You know, and nothing happened. It was 1,000 hits, you know, but it was because somebody was trying to sell my friend fake stuff for free money, you know, And this was when I was working at the, as a bouncer in strip clubs and whatnot, and all kinds of crazy times. And to show him that he got ripped out, I was like, "You dumb, man. Why are you doing that, man?" That was our watch, dude. Nothing happened. And soon after that, all my life just got so crazy strange with UFOs and ghosts and aliens and Bigfoots, and got famous and ran for president and all this insaneness. And I thought, what if one day I wake up in the morning and I'm tied up in a straitjacket in a padded room, and it turns out those 1,000 hits were real.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
That's like a Twilight Zone.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, that movie would be called 1,000 Hits.
But in that story, did I miss something? Did you actually run for president?
Yeah, I did. In 2016, I ran for president.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. And I had over 500,000 votes. They refused to let it on TV, on any newscast station. When I would go do interviews, it had to be only for my movies and TV. I wasn't allowed to talk about my candidacy, and because I would literally be told by the anchorman that they said that the owner of the network specifically said that I was not allowed to talk about it.
Wow.
He was actually the owner of all the networks on TV. The guy that owns all of that stuff. He was contributing to both Hillary's and Trump's campaigns. So he didn't want either of them being messed with by me.
Wow.
But yeah, so this was before, I put face tattoos and all that stuff on my face and everything. And yeah, I waited till I knew if I had the job or not before I just had to worry about new jobs or anything like that.
I guess I never realized that.
Yeah.
President Jesus.
Yeah.
President.
Had a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had all kinds of different cool slogans, and it was called my campaign was Breaking Ballots.
Breaking ballots.
So
Breaking ballots.
Yeah,
Wow,
I did
cool.
we did a online Facebook presidential poll. I held the race on Facebook because I was so mad at the new people not put it out there beyond what I could do just on my own. I think that big contribution. I think I had $400 donated to me, by my grandma to buy a suit. So yeah, I didn't have the house behind me, but yeah, I did it anyway. I cared about the people, and I took it serious. And so, like, the presidential race is very important to me. So y'all are out there, vote for what's right for the people, not what's right for the people that are benefiting from our taxes and not helping us at all. That's all I can, put it in. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well, in this last part of the show, let's get into some of the pictures that you sent us.
All right.
Yeah.
So these pictures right here are two different nights I went camping in the Lincoln County National Forest in New Mexico, the Sacramento Mountains. They are 3, 4, 6 years apart, and both times I was not alone. The first time was with old Kenny, Sasquatch. The second time it was with my folks, my mom and dad, and these two times, yeah, the second time I had a cool fancy phone that takes night shots. Then of course after those, I take those pictures, I can brighten them even more in a editing program. Usually I use the Snapseed or Pixlr app to brighten and adjust the levels. And the first one first or second, these are just two groups of pictures. Yeah.
Right. There's the first
right
one
here,
that I have.
Yep, right there, that red circle is what to me looks like a baby Sasquatch hanging from a tree, like those barrel of monkeys. We're little kids, we have the red ones. It's hanging in that same position from that branch.
Mm.
But there should be a brightened version of that, I think. You should be able to see. It looks orangey because I brightened it so much and increased saturation of the color. Okay, this one here, same lights as that one you just saw. But if you look, if you zooms in right here, on the left you can see the two eyes of the Sasquatch and its face and part of its body, and on the right of the tree you can see what looks like a gray. Yeah, with the stereotypical.
Then right here.
Yep. There's the eyes and there's the face. You can see a nose sort of in the shape of the mouth, almost like a ape-like protrusion of the mouth and the body. Yeah. So they're all there together, and then the same night we're in the same hour, 50 pictures, I would say.
Whoops.
There was a man as well, or a werewolf, or whatever you want to call them. You know, dog man, puppy man, game man. Right with them. They're all hanging out together. You know,
I think it's this one, maybe.
There's red circles around it, probably. But yeah, it was the first time I did not expect to see that at all that night. It was bad enough. I was like, oh, cool, I got a Bigfoot and an alien. Nice. And then I looked at this and I was like, what? Is that a werewolf?
Wow.
You know?
Almost looks like an alien also. In a cape.
It looks like a I'm gonna say a werewolf or something. I think I can see a werewolf in that.
Yeah. But I also see an alien with a cape that's kind of behind him. Oh, interesting.
Did we lose Jesus for a minute?
Uh-oh. He was breaking up. Yeah, I think
he was getting garbly, so maybe he'll come right back in and we'll bring him up and
yeah, he was breaking up like the internet was going bad. Oh, wow, that was interesting.
Cool.
Jesus, come back.
I hope he comes back pretty soon. We've been over just an hour, so we're just now starting to get into his pictures that he sent. And
there's a couple
let's just say hi to everybody in chat again till he shows back up, or we'll continue talking about something else.
Yeah, I see Tennessee, Kentucky. Jim came in. Untrimmed Savage, welcome in. Henry. Lorna, welcome in. Well, hopefully Jesus will be back. Hopefully he didn't lose his connection altogether.
You know what these
there he is.
Oh, there he is.
But
yeah, you were breaking up pretty bad.
That's weird, man. That's weird. But I think where we left off was the werewolf dogman picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see. It just showed the background, and then it went gone. Mm-hmm. Coincidence?
I was worried they abducted him again.
You know?
Let's see if we can get this back up there.
Okay. All right, there we go.
There's that. Definitely different.
You can see it. And then there's a second one. You can almost look like a face to the left of it, up on the left of it. Almost like a face looking down at it.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, there's another picture of it where I isolated it with a color and its head. You'll see it much brighter, and you can really see the ears, eyes, nose, and teeth, cheeks, and all that stuff.
All right, let me see if I can find that one.
And that was when you were camping, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't go to hunt. I just hadn't seen my parents in a long time, and we hadn't camped out together for decades. And yeah, we're like, let's go camping. There you go. There it is. Isolated where it's at. And yeah, I can see the everything.
Oh yeah.
You know? I don't think that's a Sasquatch.
No, I don't think so either.
Definitely
with the ears and the snout looking
right.
And it makes me just wonder. Yeah, it looks like if you look to the left of it, there's definitely some kind of face. That might even be a gray. I see a big black eye.
Right here.
A little bit lower. Oh yeah, I guess there's that too. Might be that. Maybe that stuff right there is just pareidolia. Don't know. But
Don't know.
yeah, it makes you wonder, like, why were they there? I didn't call them technically. I didn't plan on hunting that night. I just was spending time with my family. We were sitting at a little campfire, and I was hearing some very, I guess, recognizable noises. I was like, I better take some pictures, And yeah, they were out there just peeking and staring.
Wow.
This is where we enter the ghost realm. Are these ghosts? Are they spirits of these previous creatures that were alive at some point? Do they have souls? Does Bigfoot
They're
have a
just
soul?
interdimensional.
Yeah, are they interdimensional?
Right.
There's so many different things. What if, well, just like, like aliens and angels, all right? And ghosts, we see them pass through walls. We see them materialize. We see them dematerialize. We hear them where there's nobody there. They port. And for those out there in the don't know what porting is in the ghost realms, that's where you get those keys stolen. Whoop. And you go looking for them all over the house, and you look that same spot 13 times. And when you finally gave up and you're like, I can't take this no more, you go back and they're right there.
Yep.
So these beings, whatever they are, whoever they are, they're able to do all the same stuff. So that right there makes me think too, what if it's something that we're dealing with that's not a different thing, that it's taking different forms? Don't know. Then you got the Bigfoots that maybe they can't do that till they're dead. I don't know. What if we're dealing with the dead Bigfoots are really just the ghosts of Bigfoots that we're seeing all the woo and experiencing woo from? I don't know.
Well, I know Native Americans and even the Canadian, the First Nation Indians say that some of their elders is Sasquatch spirits.
Yep.
And that's their elders that they talk to.
Yep. And that's the thing is there's a lot of Native American history and the drumming and the songs that we sing that tie together, that we're taught by these beings, these Bigfoots, and some dogmen and some dogmen too, So yeah, that's why I am leaning towards from everything I researched, that the Bigfoots, they were here first. They were before us. They were the first creation of man, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to, and they created a second. And that's why a big group of those individuals, the Bigfoots, hate us with a passion, and don't eat us because they're hungry and starving, but because they're pissed and hate us. And that's their way of showing it to kind of go, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know. So if there's bad Bigfoots, then there's probably evil Bigfoots. And if there's evil Bigfoots, then maybe there's evil souls, evil spirits of Bigfoots that are the Wendigos or anything else you can imagine out there. Usually the skinwalker people, which they're skinwalkers are alive. They go home and hang up their skin and get back to their daily routine, and then when they want to go traipsing around and pissing off people and getting paid to harass people, they jump back into that trance and let the demon take over and do their thing. A lot of people don't even realize that. That's what skinwalkers are. They're just black magic magicians, old medicine women and men that have gone bad, that are working for you. And it's the same thing though in every culture. It doesn't have to be Native American. A demon can transform to whatever he wants, and possess whoever he wants. So it's a lot broader than we think. It's a lot more than we can realize. And I really wish, like I said, there was answers, real definite, solid answers, and somebody could come down and be like, this is how it is. But they kind of already said that, and we're not supposed to be messing around with that stuff.
Yeah, because we hear reports that the mushrooms are connected to the land. They're giant networks. A guy named, but a network named Bob, it's out west. And the mushroom network, well, they're connected to the trees. Trees are the Sasquatch and all the elementals. And it just shows, the connected. Everything is connected to each other.
Yep.
One way or the other.
Oh, for sure. The way I'm looking, kind of a good analogy, I think, would be, say, our military. Okay, it's departmentalized. There's a different plate section for each one, and it's a need to know basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're a creator and you're creating this world, and these worlds come with 58 dimensions and all this crazy different animals and all the different mechanisms you can imagine from left to right to right to left. From what's described, it's the same thing. It's a need to know basis, and there's a lot that they don't think we need to know. You know, God said, "Leave this to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want you to do, and this is what I don't want you to do." You know, it just keeps on going back to God and the original story. No matter what religion, no matter what civilization, and different version of it, it all leads to this group of beings. And the main one, the big boss, that did this and made us. And we all look at it different. And some people just don't believe it at all, and that don't exist. But if demons exist, a lot of people believe in demons and not God, which makes no sense whatsoever. Or ghosts, you know what I mean?
You sent us a couple more pictures, and I believe this is well, I'll let you tell them what it is.
Okay.
This one turned out really small for some reason. I don't know why it showed up small, but I'll try to zoom in on it.
It's not about the size, girl. Well, that is tiny. Okay, so yeah, right there is one of the pictures of the green-skinned, red-eyed gray or reptilian or demon that was looking in my tent with old Kenny. You could kind of see, yeah. What I did was I sliced the face in half right down the middle and mirrored it so you could see the whole face, what it might look like. You can kind of see through the mesh right there. The left side of the face, slightly.
Yeah,
on the left side right there, but to the right, you can see the actual nose, holes, eyeball, and mouth.
Wow.
But yeah, once I mirrored it and brightened it up, you can really see the face, you know, like ridiculously.
All right, we'll bring the other one up.
All right, so this is the same night in 2017. Those other pictures were from 2023. This was all within 3 minutes. Of all those pictures that I have of the tent night, that's within a 3-minute period. So within those 3 minutes, there was 2 Sasquatch and a green skin, red eye, alien, demon, whatever, looking in my tent. You know.
So that's where you put the 2 sides together, right, to get the full picture.
Yep, I mirrored it. I had done the same with the Sasquatch, but I don't know. I don't think I sent that one to you. But I did send the faces of them, the other 2, I believe. But yeah, man, it's like.
So that's peeking through your tent.
Yeah, the roof through the tent hood, where so the mosquitoes don't come in.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the netting. But yeah, that was looking straight down, and the tent was about at least a 7-foot tall tent because I could stand up. I'm 6'3", 6'4" with some really nice boots on, but my head wasn't touching at all. So it was at least a 7-foot tall tent.
Wow.
And so these individuals that were looking in were either hanging off of a drone, floating, or they were really tall, looking down in the tent. I'm going with really tall, looking in the tent because all of their faces are about the same size-ish in relation to the size of that opening. So if the Sasquatch, are looking in, they'd have to be at minimum 8 foot to 9 foot tall to look down in at us.
So this right here is what you're talking about?
Yeah, those are 2 faces right there. The one on the right, you can see has a bulbous nose, kind of like mine, with its mouth open. And the eye, and then on the far left is another Sasquatch, but this one has a very small nose and is smiling, grinning almost.
Oops.
Wow.
Somehow I lost it. Where'd it go?
There it is. Yeah.
That's
so the one on the right was making faces at old Kenny, looking down at him, and the one on the left looks like he was enjoying seeing old Kenny freaking out.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
But what people out there that want to argue that there's no connection between Bigfoot and aliens and UFOs, I'm sorry, but these pictures say otherwise. You know, all these different pictures I've got. If you want to, on our next show, if you want to do UFO stuff, I got a bunch of UFO video and pictures, whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
We'll do UFOs
bunch.
next time.
You know, yeah, I got lots, dude.
Now, way back in the very beginning, I think it was a question asked about one of our previous shows about you doing the lost civilization and checking out the temple behind you. And they wanted to know if there was an update on that.
There is an update. I have the video almost finished that I'm going to be putting out. It'll be coming out in about 2 weeks with all that really cool. So I've just been compiling. It's literally going through thousands and thousands of images. I still need to get someone with a good drone that can, not some little tiny baby drone, you know, the ones I can buy, you know, little ones at Walmart or something, but a serious drone, because there's some major cliff faces at the top of these mountains that little baby drones won't reach. You know what I mean? And I'll just lose it. I'll just lose one. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a professional drone, you know, operator. I'd rather have somebody that seriously knows what they're doing.
Right.
And the reason why it's taking so long is because that part, because I don't make money from YouTube. I don't make money from donations. I made a bunch of my movies and TV shows. It's been a long time. So the residuals, the little bit I get is like $1.05, $20 here and there now. So I make my money like a regular everyday person at a regular job. So I can't afford to hire, you know, a lot of expensive stuff. And I need to get these drones set up so I can do 3 pictures of each area a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once towards evening. So the sun, because they do so many of these sculptures and carvings that are made for for shadows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like the snake temple. You have to wait for the shadow to see the snake on
going down the temple. Yeah, exactly. So when you have full sunlight on one of these old ancient carvings, you get no depth perception of the carving. It just, you know what I mean? It doesn't work. You can't see it with the naked eye. It just directs super bright sunlight. So it has to be over here more for you to see the actual, all the carvings, because they're very eroded, you know, very eroded. And I've found so much weird stuff. The weirdest thing that I found so far would be the Yoda. I don't know if you remember that one? That is weird. And then when you find out and do the research, what is Yoda? The Yoda's based on an old demon from medieval times, a little demon of wisdom or something like that. And I see the statue now.
Wow.
I'm like, you know, there's a lot of scary. Unfortunately, I see a lot of evil stuff that are carved. Not just, you know, cool ancient statues, but some really gory stuff. It looks demonic, but it's carved. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's been there for a long time, so it just makes me wonder what was going on at that point. Was this during the time of say a 1,000-year rulership that was going to happen after being released, after being locked up for 1,000 years?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, that goes back to prophecies, timeline changes, what already might have happened and is not about to happen, but we think it is, and it's look over here, you know. But yeah, there is more coming with those discoveries right behind my house.
Wow.
And yeah, it's wild stuff, man. Like I said, my life is nuts, not my wife. Love you, honey. I love you. I didn't say that, honey. I love you, you swear.
Well, good. We got that to look forward to too. We'll do a UFO show. Then maybe after that, we'll be able to do an update on the temple.
What part of New Mexico is this? Northern, central, southern?
Southern
New Mexico?
We're about 89 miles from the Texas border to El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're right there on the edge in the corner, like right below Texas and Mexico. You know, right there on the edge, you know. But yeah, it's weird. You would expect being this close to the border, you'd see more illegal aliens instead of the kind that are in UFOs.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right. You know, I'm like, why the hell am I seeing these kind, man? It's supposed to be the other kind running around, damn it. You know? Sheesh. It's upsetting.
Well, Jesus, I think this is a good time to stop. And like I said, we'll have you back for the UFO. Then hopefully after that, sometime you'll have everything ready to go from the second part of the temple.
Well, we did have a question. Have you ever seen a three-toed print?
A three-toed print? Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
someone asked if you've seen a three-toed print.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That one got by
it
me.
was Tennessee, Kentucky.
Oh.
Yeah, I have found a three-toed print before.
Okay.
It didn't look lizard-like to me. It looked more like Bigfooty, but it was the big toe was not the prominent toe, which would be our normal big toe. The middle one was the prominent toe, but it was the shape of our toes. Like they had like 3 big toes, but one was a little bit longer in the middle. And the pad I guess it did look kind of like wolfish, more not reptilian, but more like a giant wolf or paw print. But it was extended, almost like how a rabbit's is,
Right.
But that part doesn't really show in this, when it leaves a print. But it was really odd. It was big. Whatever it was, it only left one. So that's the weird part. Trying to figure out how do they do that? You know what I mean? Especially the size of a lot of these creatures are ridiculously heavy, over 1,000 pounds, and they're able to not leave prints sometimes.
Right.
It's very strange.
Crazy.
But I agree. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be UFOing next time, and a happy coming up holidays. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.
See you later. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody in chat. That was awesome.
That was great.
I mean, some of those pictures were crazy, and some of his stories were just fantastic. And I look forward to having him back and talking about UFOs, and then a second part to the temple behind his property.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh, I still remember those pictures. I have to dig them out and look through them again about the temple.
Right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Say goodbye, everybody, and thank you all for coming. We love you, and we hope to see you next time. And we are scheduling some people for Tuesdays, depending on what their schedule is, because not everybody can make it on Sundays, because I know that's family time for some people. So we're trying to open up our schedule to allow more guests, and we do have some new guests coming that we haven't had before. So look forward to that. And like we said, get out there and check out, see if you can see the comet tonight, because we're getting closer for us anyway to getting to dark. So it'll be an hour, 40 minutes to an hour after sunset. You should be able to start seeing it.
And thank you, mods, and thank you everyone for showing up. And we will reschedule Jesus.
Yep. Thank you for all the good questions and comments in chat. And we really appreciate it. And I hope I got to everybody's questions. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. It wasn't on purpose. I was just trying to keep up with his stories and his experiences. And just like Jane had to remind me about the one with the three toe prints. It's like every once in a while, one will get by me. So sorry if I missed anybody. And having said all that, we will let you all go.
Yep.
We love you.
Keep your vibrations high.
Keep looking up. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.